This is a Region Sportsdesk exclusive.
I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to get away. I want to fly away.
Well, it's another week of high school football here on Region Sportsdesk. Joe, wow, what a week last week. We had some nice upsets, and we even had a record broken at Portage. A lot to get to. Only talk about a couple of the games from last week, and then we'll go over our top 10.
All right, JT, we're going to talk about some last week's matchups. You know, a big topic here. Let's talk about the Wheeler River Forest game. Wheeler attempts, 3 onside kicks?
3 onside
kicks. And a team they know they're going to blow out. Why? Explanation we get is because they wanted to practice it in the live situation.
Right.
What do you think about this?
Well, I mean, I can't justify it in that game. I mean, you know, why don't you practice it against Whiting? Why don't you do it against Highland? You know, why don't you do it in a couple of games maybe that, you know, weren't going to be quite as lopsided as this one? And really, you know, I have an idea that's even better than that one. And this is not an idea that I kind of expressed today. How about the rest of the season? Every game they have should pretty much be lopsided. They have Calumet, Bishop Knoll, Lake Station. That's the remaining games in their schedule. At halftime, if they're up by 50 points or more, throughout the rest of the game, every time they get the ball, they should punt it away. Every single time they get it. Here's my read.
No, that's just asinine to think. I mean, because at halftime, usually around halftime, third quarter, they'll put in their second string.
You know,
and this is why I believe Wheeler is such a strong program, because they can get ahead and they can put in the backups, get the backups tons of playing experience. Now, punting the ball away, you're getting rid of all your offensive playing experience through your backups. Absolutely.
No, here's the deal, okay? Look, these games don't mean jack. They're getting ready for one game only, and that's Rensselaer, and that's a team that's going to try to pound it down their throats, and that's a game that they're going to have to play all 4 quarters to win. And their defense is not used to playing all 4 quarters. So punting the ball away every time they get the ball in the second half is leaving their defense out on the field and challenging them every single possession to try to stop the other team. So it's a way to help try to get their defense. Their offense doesn't need to get ready. It doesn't matter about their offense. Their defense is what needs to get ready. And I think that's probably the best way they could possibly get ready, because they don't have any, you know, competitive games left on the schedule. That's my take on it.
Well, that's your point of view, and you can stick with it yourself, because I freaking hate it. All right, let's go to some other games. JT, you actually went to the Rensselaer-West Lafayette game. We're just talking about Rensselaer. How did they look down there against West Lafayette?
Well, I tell you what, they're pretty much like a mini version of Lowell, but the atmosphere there is incredible. They kind of do this little like death walk up right through the crowd, basically, when they get on the field.
They go through the crowd.
Well, they right in front of the bleachers, right in front of the bleachers. They kind of, and I mean,
like a death walk. What's a death walk?
Well, it's just kind of like, it's almost like an intimidating. You know, kind of like an intimidation.
Did it intimidate you? If you were a player, would you be intimidated?
Well, you know what? It had me jacked up. Okay, obviously I was up on top of the press box. It had me jacked up, and it had the whole crowd jacked up. There's probably about at least 2,000 people on that Rensselaer side. There's maybe 200 on West Lafayette's side. You know, it was a great ball game. It was close throughout the first half, but the second half, third and fourth quarter, that's when the running game started wearing down that West Lafayette defense. And this is a team that's even bigger than Rensselaer, okay?
Rensselaer's a big team.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the main reason why I bring up this thing about Wheeler, is because, okay, if they can do that to West Lafayette, what are they going to do to Wheeler? Wheeler's not going to be ready for that at all. And I felt that was the best way they could possibly try to get ready for it. Not even saying it's going to work, but what else are they going to do with these remaining 3 games, you know? They have to get their players used to playing all 4 quarters, because this is going to be a 4-quarter game.
Play all 4 quarters, put up 100 points.
Not about put up 100 points. You got to get your defense.
All right, anyway. Of course, I went to the Portage game. You can tune into Portage Tough to get an analyst of that game. What about that Crown Point Valpo game? We got the pick wrong. You know, we picked Crown Point by 3. It was Valpo by 3.
Yeah, you know, I thought it'd be a 10-7 game. Just kind of went the other way.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
I knew it'd be low scoring. I mean, there's no surprises here. You know, both defenses played well, and you know, pretty much both running games kind of got shut down for the most part. It was just the kind of game I thought it would be. So I mean, I'm not stunned that Valpo won. I knew it could go either way.
And I think the upset of the year. Hobart by 1 over Lowell at the Inferno.
Wow. Yeah, I was shocked, and really, I mean, to beat them at their place on their homecoming, you know, I mean, we'll say it here. You're not gonna hear it from other places. That probably did save a lot of McCormick's job. That win probably saved his job.
That's a big win. Hopefully, maybe this kid can take some motivation from that game and take the momentum and come away with the W. Hey, Hobart, you get the megaphone of the week. Go Berkeys! JT's gonna deliver it to your new high school.
Probably not. But great win for Hobart. You know what? Sectional 9's not a great sectional. If Hobart can build on this, who knows? Anything's possible in that section.
Hey, they made it to the sectional championship last year.
I know.
All right, let's go to this week's top 10. All right, Wheeler. They're at 10, unranked. Big 70-0 win over River Forest. Munster, they beat Griffith. They move up to 9 this week. They were at 10 last week. Portage, big upset against Chesterton. They weren't ranked. They're
380 yards for Jake Dixon, a new Portage record.
New Portage record looked impressive.
All those great Portage running backs, and now he holds the record. That's amazing.
Best athlete I've ever seen play football at Portage. All right, Morton stays at 7. Chesterton falls back to 6. They were 4 last week. Andrain moves up to 5. They were at 6. Rensselaer moves up to 4. They were at 5 last week. Crum Point 3. Maryville 2. Valpo number 1, all stays the same.
Familiar foes at the top.
All right, let's go to some pick'ems here. All right, Rensselaer's playing Delphi at Delphi. We're going to have a letdown here with Rensselaer.
No, Delphi's not very good. Rensselaer's going to blow this team away.
Absolutely. North Newton at South Central. I think this one could be a good one.
You know, it could be, but I'm telling you what, I still like the Satellites.
Go Satellites, baby.
They haven't lost a home game this year.
They're not going to start now. All right, Wheeler at Lake Station. We all know who's going to win this game.
How many?
Over or under JT 55 points. I think that's the key mark. Over or under 55.
Oh, I thought you were going to say over or under 2 onside kicks. Over 55, and I'm going to say maybe just 1 onside kick.
All right. Whiting at Calumet.
Calumet's going down the tubes. I mean, look, they lost to 2 very bad football teams, Bishop Knoll and Lake Station, last 2 weeks. I got like Whiting.
I like Whiting. All right, let's go River Forest at Bishop Knoll. River Forest is...
Hey, Bishop Knoll's got some revenge. Remember last year? Remember when they lost to River Forest last year? I think Bishop Knoll is going to take out their frustration.
All right, I'm disagreeing with you this one. I'm taking the ingots on this. All right, East Chicago at Lew Wallace.
Hey, guess what? East Chicago, they actually went to Central. They won that game last week. They actually beat them. So I think they're going to do the same thing. They're going to travel to Lew Wallace, who came off a big win over their arch rival Roosevelt. EC Central's going to win, buddy.
I agree with you on this one. Bowman at Yorktown. Don't know too much about Yorktown, but...
Yorktown hasn't won a game. Both of these teams not so good. That's a long drive for Bowman. I don't know. I'm going to say Yorktown pulls it out.
I'm going Bowman, baby. Take the Eagles. Gavitt at Clark. Clark's going to win this one big.
Yep.
Okay, West Side at Morton. This might actually be a lot of scoring in this game, but I like Morton to come away by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of basketball on turf there. But, yeah.
Lowell traveling to Hammond, looking for some revenge.
They're going to get it.
That upset from last week, they're going to go away.
They're pretty
going to
upset
Hammond
about
and win.
that upset, so yeah.
Andrain at KV, I like Andrain big in this game.
Yep.
Highland at Griffith. Griffith's a little upset of that tough loss to Munster. Griffith's going to win this game big.
They're going to put up 40 in Highland, I think.
All right, Chesterton at Lake Central. Chesterton coming off a tough loss, going against a Lake Central team.
Lake Central, they just beat Michigan City. They're not going to finish in last place. So, you know, great for the Blue Indians. They're not going to beat Chesterton. Chesterton's upset. Chesterton's a better football team.
Chesterton's going to take this game. All right, Michigan City at Portage.
I mean, it's different week, same story for Michigan City. I think Portage is going to end this by halftime. You know, maybe they can work on some things in preparation for that.
That's what I was thinking. Here's a big question on our Facebook page: over or under 200 yards for Dixon?
I'm gonna say he probably gets over just by a little bit, But
205 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
Something like that, because they're gonna take him out at probably maybe the third quarter.
I'm curious. I want to see that Drum Blake kid get in there. That kid did something special on the JV game from Saturday. All right, let's go. Hobart. This week's week 7 thrillers. Hobart.
Talk about your new proposition about the.
Oh, okay. Here's a new proposition out here for all you Facebook watchers. If you can correctly pick one correct score out of the Week 7 thrillers, you get a free pizza on us, Region Sports Desk.
No joke.
From any place you want in the area, free pizza on us. All right, Hobart at Munster. JT, Hobart's coming in with some big momentum here. Can they upset Munster at Munster?
It's not going to happen. Look, it was a great win for Hobart. Obviously, Lowell's not the same team they've been, since last year, even since the last couple of weeks. They're just not that great of a team right now. Hobart has some momentum going. They've been playing well. They're not going to beat Munster. They're not going to go on the road and beat the Mustangs. I just don't see it.
I got to agree with you. Munster's going to punch them right in the face and send Hobart right back into reality, into the bad football team that they are. All right.
Well, what do they get for that?
Well, the win. I already gave them the megaphone.
No. What does this game get? Jeez.
Oh, we're going to give them the cheesehead. Munster is our cheesehead lock of the week.
Yeah, just forget about what happened last week. That was
a bad pick. All right. Number 3, Bulldogs traveling to LaPorte. LaPorte shows they're a tough team to play at home.
Hey,
Every single year, that team is very tough to play.
Hey, they nearly pulled off the upset against Maryville. I mean, they lost that one in overtime, on a 2-point conversion. So that's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough game for Crown Point. And you know what, LaPorte, they lost at Crown Point's homecoming last year. This is probably LaPorte's homecoming this week, I'm assuming. So I think they want a little bit of revenge. However, I still think Crown Point's going to find a way to gut this one. I think Crown Point's too good of a football team to go in there and lose that game. I still think Crown Point's going to win. A nail biter.
I got to agree with you. Crown Point is a very good football team. Their defense is unbelievably good. I like their offense. Crown Point wins this one. All right. Game of the week. Game of the year right now so far.
Yeah.
Our number 1 versus number 2. Valpo at Maryville. JT, I want to know what you think.
All right, I've seen all these. I've seen all the contending teams play. I've seen Maryville play a couple times. Saw Valpo play Chesterton. Maryville just has more talent all around than Valparaiso does. They've got too much speed. They've got too much big play capability, and they're the most dynamic team Valpo's faced the entire season. Every team Valpo's played has been pretty much one-dimensional. Maryville's going to throw a lot of different looks at them. They have the best quarterback in Popovich, and they have the best tailback in Denzel Pierce. If you remember last year, Valpo was riding high. They beat Crown Point. They beat Chesterton. Valpo went there and just whooped their butt.
Maryville whooped Valpo's butt.
Yes, Maryville went there. We were there.
Exactly.
I was crazy enough. I actually picked Valpo to win that game, and of course Maryville just absolutely tore them up. Maryville is going to win this game by at least 2 scores.
I got to agree with you completely. I took Maryville last year for one reason only. Denzel Pierce. And look what he did. Direct snaps to Denzel Pierce. Valpo had no answer. And again, they're going to have no answer again this year for Denzel Pierce. Denzel Pierce is going to be the X factor in this game. Maryville by 10 in this game.
Oh, there you have it. Yeah, Maryville's going to win. They're going to be... Hey, they're still the best team until somebody beats them. So, Valpo, here's your chance. We're going to find out what you're made of. Your third tough game in a row. We'll see if you can win this one on the road. I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, so you heard it. All right, Facebook fans. If you can correctly pick one score correctly out of those 3, you get a free pizza on us.
Just post them under this video in our Facebook. Just post in the comment section, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if anybody you get one guess at each game. So we'll see what you got.